This is the first in a series of reviews of vehicles that I find fun to have in Grand Theft Auto Online. Most of them are not necessary. They can be useful in certain situations. But as far as I'm concerned, if you've got your Armored Kuruma, a Buzzard, the Terabyte, and the Oppressor Mark II, everything else is just gravy on top of that. You don't need anything else. That said, they're fun to have, and once you've started making lots of money with your businesses, then why not have these vehicles? First one we're going to look at is the Deluxo. You buy the Deluxo from Warstock Cash and Carry, and most of these vehicles have two potential prices. There's with a discount or without the discount. I bought this already without the discount for 4.7 million. If you have done the Doomsday Heist Part 2 from the facility, it's in its entirety, you will have used this vehicle during that heist. You have stolen some, then you have to use them. And once you've completed the whole of the heist, you will get the discount price of 3.5 million. So it's worth doing the heist if you have the facility. You're saving 1.2 million. On the other hand, you can make 1.2 million in a couple of days if you're serious about grinding. So is it that big of a deal? I guess 1.2 million is still 1.2 million. So this is the Deluxo. And I do use this vehicle, various little jobs now and then. It's clearly based on the DeLorean from Back to the Future. It's a two-person car, only carry two people, but that's nice in that you can take a friend with you, and of course it has the feature that the DeLorean has in Back to the Future. It can fly. It's not very fast when it's flying, it's only getting up to about 80 miles an hour. You can see the speedometer in here. We're just flying straight out to sea, nothing going on, and we've topped out there at just a little fraction over 80. You'd think it would get to 88, it doesn't even do that. I think it may have gone faster in the past and they may have changed it, but anyway, that's what it's doing right now. And other than just flying, this vehicle has missiles. It carries 30 missiles. I'll just fire a couple out to sea here. They're pretty good missiles. They've got very good tracking, so if you're needing to shoot at enemies, these are very effective missiles, or you can switch to machine guns. Like most machine guns, these are not terribly effective. If you're firing at a standing target, then you're going to hit it. It'll even take a while to blow up just a regular car, but it's an option. I usually just have missiles set. If you're trying to not scare other people in the session, you might want to switch your missiles to homing off so that they don't hear the beep 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 that you're tracking them. As well as flying, this can also hover over water, and it's actually quite fast at hovering over water. It speeds up a bit. I guess it's using less energy to fly, so it can use more energy to hover. And we're hovering here at around 90 miles an hour. Of course, we're at wave level, so we keep hitting the waves. That's slowing us down a bit. If it was smooth water, it would be hovering a little bit faster, but you can hover about 90. And when you're driving it on the road, its top speed is about 100 miles an hour. So 80 in the air, 90 on the water, 100 on the ground is roughly what you're looking at. It's a useful vehicle for carrying a friend around and doing little missions within the city. If you wanted to cross the entire map at only 80 miles an hour in the air, this is not your best option. You're far better off calling in a Buzzard and flying in that. It's going to get you to over 130 miles an hour, so clearly not the most useful for that purpose. It's tricky to fly until you've got the hang of it. It's doesn't gain altitude or lose altitude particularly fast. Well, it doesn't gain altitude particularly fast. Let's put it that way. That's as fast as I can go up, and that's not terribly fast. And of course, it's a car, so I don't have an altimeter telling me how high I am. But you can actually fly up very high up with the planes if you need to. To lose altitude fast, you can actually do this, and all you do is come out of hover mode. If you go all the way to the ground, even that didn't really do any damage to the car. I got a little bit of a scrape there as it tipped on one side, but I could have avoided that. So you can just drop out of the sky very, very quickly. This makes this quite useful if you were the kind of player to get involved in PvP combat and someone's attacking you and you already have a lot of altitude. You can just drop out of the sky, or you can drop and then re-hover. So you can control your altitude downwards very effectively. Going upwards takes a little bit more time. You can spin on the spot quite effectively, so not a lot of vehicles can do quite that maneuverable in the air. Certainly helicopters are a little bit trickier to spin around with. Is this as good as the Oppressor? Well, not really, because it doesn't give you quite the same maneuverability. It's a little bit more awkward to get it in and out of places, and it's a lot slower. So I think the Oppressor is more useful, and of course the Oppressor, you can park it inside your Terabyte, take the Terabyte somewhere. This one is just a regular car in that you can call it in with your mechanic and then take it back to a garage or get away from it and call something else in. But I think it's a pretty cool car. I was prepared to spend that 4.7 million to get one for this character, and I do use it occasionally. That's the DeLorean, or in this game it's called the Deluxo. And if you've got 4.7 million, or you've done the Doomsday Heist, you've got 3.5 million to spend on this, I think it's definitely one worth adding to your collection.